First, I want to thank all of you for coming out, coming to be a part of it, especially Professor Randy Vera for putting this together, hosting, all that great stuff, and everyone coming together for the right type of cause, and that's Professor Steve mentioned celebrating life, absolutely celebrating life, each other. That's what it's all about. And that's the beautiful part of Jiu-Jitsu. It brings people together. Doesn't matter who and what you are and all that great stuff. Everything you get brought together by stepping on these mats, and we're all the same inside these uniforms. So, starting our lock guard, we're going to start with talking about, they have their grips established, and we'll go with this kind of double style grip control here. And they've got good posture, they're setting up, and we're going to start with just kind of a nice simple grip setup, a usual one, a sleeve and cross collar, as we develop into here. My nogi guys, I promise I haven't forgot about you. I'll come back to it in just a minute. But we're in this setup, and they're posturing strong, go ahead and drive in. So we got a grip to deal with, they're driving in, lock out the arm. Yeah, they're here, and they're really trying to frame up, work against your leg. And what's really great about this one is they're really working kind of in a, just kind of nice tension position back and forth. So their position, although kind of in a linear way, is really strong. They're pretty weak in other angles. So a lot of times it's just kind of moving your hips behind it. You can break them down pretty easily. So we're in here and Brandon's locked down, and if I just tried to pull him down and break his posture, it wouldn't work. But instead it kind of worked behind what he starts doing. So if Brandon starts digging his left elbow into my leg, I start favoring this direction. It gives me a little bit of an angle. And so now when I start pulling for it, instead of pulling to where my head was, I now pull to where my head is now. So I just want to hold this position. And all this is about a patient little game of trying to make him forget about his grip. So as I hold here, Brandon starts posturing up, doesn't want to stay here too long. He doesn't like the idea of it, whether we control or go for it. But he starts posturing up, and I don't let him. I just kind of fight it. I go up slowly. I actually secretly want him back tall, but I want him back tall on my turn. So now that he's up into this position, I slowly let him up, and as soon as he's about 80% of the way there, I flare the elbow, I slide my hand under, go flat, drop my wrist, and get to this grip. This grip, this control, this is going to be what we're going to break grip with. Real powerful one. I know all my black belts in here know this one too well, especially if you've been training a while, but there's really two things that we want to do instead. One, I never put my hips back on the ground after I got this grip, but still off the ground, still kind of floating high into this control. And instead of breaking the grip here, I'm going to wait a second and change the game, kind of where everything's happening. So I unlock at the feet, use the tension of my knees pinch, and kind of shrink to my side. So there's now a downward angle already. So as I go, I rip that grip away, breaking it strong, a quick hand exchange on the sleeve, and my hand can wrap the back in control. Nice tight body lock. Now, this has been the number one thing to all my students this past few weeks is do not lock your legs. It's one of those things that it feels so natural, and it feels so tough to not want to be able to not do. We struggled with it. Even when I start talking and teaching it, I'll end up relaxing in this position with my legs locked. No, don't do it. Legs are open. It's one of those that it will actually inhibit your ability to take the back. Now, what we're trying to do is by dragging out, is I want to put basically about 3 or 4 inches above my belt line will be his tricep. And I want to glue it to this inside position here and stick it to my body. What that allows for is, of course, is an extra kind of brick wall, stops him from pulling the arm out fast. But if I really get it to a nice tight position above my belt, I can actually steal a bunch of his momentum. So as he moves, I can use that against him. He wiggles, he changes positions, he starts backing out, pulling forward, especially if he starts trying to yank his arm out in a kind of quick motion. This actually accelerates how quickly I can take their back. Right? So here was our landing position, and of course, top side arm, across the back of the shoulders, hand into the armpit. If you got the gi on, 4 fingers in, you get that nice dig of the position. If you're going no gi, hands dig to the inside, you just pull across that lat, and then you squeeze this position tight. Legs are hugged in, nice and tight. So as I go here, I want to start pushing away. And from here, I'm going to actually let your training partner kind of react a little bit. And as soon as they react, we should be able to have a good amount of momentum to start taking advantage of what they're doing. I have this position here. So Brandon starts like trying to, back out a little bit so he can pull his arm out. And as he starts pulling his arm out, just kind of in one motion, foot hits the ground, trip turn to the back. Really exchanges the position quick. And I'll switch sides in a second so you guys can all see. Allows you to really punch through and change the position. If me and coach were a little bit more to scale, so each other's same size, the flying up to their back would be effortless. Really jumping to that position becomes very strong. The other great part is you continue to hold on to the actual sleeve. You can keep this away as you feed your other hand to the inside to really tighten up that lapel for a fast transition. And a quick one to our choke. Really opens the position a bunch and puts them in immediate kind of submission danger.